My friend Diana has set out to break 19 minutes for a 5K, but pushing a jogging stroller. We are here to follow along today and see if she can actually do that. Hello and welcome everybody. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Letty and welcome to our channel. We do all sorts of running entertainment videos, so please consider subscribing. Alright, so in this video today we are going to follow my friend along. A little bit about my friend. My friend is Diana. She is also a physician. She is also a single mom, and she's also super beautiful and super fast. In fact, she is probably one of the fastest women here in our town and frequently wins 5Ks, 10Ks, and if they had marathons, she would probably win them too. Let's talk a little bit about her running with a jogging stroller. She has a 3-year-old boy who is super amazing and cute. He has been pushed since probably a couple of weeks since his birth. So I've known Diana pretty much shortly after moving to Southwest Florida in 2016. I saw her not pregnant, and then I did see her pregnant. I did not see the birth, but I saw the baby shortly after the birth, and I've been along for her journey of recovery and then transitioning from not running back to walking and then running with a running stroller, which she does very frequently due to being a single mom. So let's talk a little bit about running with a jogging stroller. I had a jogging stroller myself for the first year and a half of having a baby, and I can tell you from experience that it's not that difficult to push. Brands like Thule and Bob have made it very, very nice and simple and a smooth ride. It doesn't feel like you're pushing as much weight as you're really pushing. However, here's where it gets complicated. So when you're pushing a stroller, you're obviously having to have one hand at least on the bar. Stroller doesn't go by itself, unfortunately, not yet. And when you do that, your running form is not the same because you don't have that same range of motion. You can't move your arms like that. In the same way, when you're turning, you have to push with both hands, and again, that form. While you're running slowly, that might not affect you as much, but when it comes to speed, then it gets a lot more complicated. In fact, most strollers allow you to lock the front wheel in order to make it easier and not as wobbly, but still, when you're running fast, it's a whole different level. Now, when it comes to my friend Diana, she has always been really, really fast. So when it comes to running with a jogging stroller, there was no doubt that she was also going to do that faster than most people. However, breaking 19 minutes is something that most of us mortals strive for to do without a running stroller. All right, all that said, let's go meet Diana. All right, so Diana, you were sick last weekend when you were supposed to run an official 5K, and now you've recovered for a couple days, and we're planning on running this 5K. Well, you are planning on running this 5K on Saturday.
But you're going to be over there with me, encouraging me.
Yes, because you're not going to have the hype of all these spectators and everything. So I know it's going to be harder, but tell me what your goal is and then a tiny bit about your training.
All right, so my goal is sub 19, and the reason why that's my goal is the race I was supposed to do on Monday, I did a year ago with my son, and that is my PR 5K, and I was just a few seconds over 19 minutes. And I kind of told myself, okay, well, last year I didn't do as much speed workout, and it was kind of like, I knew I could go fast. I didn't know I would be so close to breaking 19, so it was kind of like my goal for a new PR, stroller PR this year, to break 19 with him before he doesn't let me push him in the stroller anymore. So I did 2 5Ks earlier in the spring. The first one was coming right off a marathon when I was hadn't been training, kind of just running casually for 5 weeks. And it was not a very fast 5K for me. And so then I was like, okay, well, I have another one. I'll start doing some speed workout. And I did that, and I improved my time. And just before this race, I definitely put in some work doing some 400s, some 800s. 800s I hate, 400s I can tolerate. And that's kind of how I trained. I knew I have a base because I do long runs, and it was just more making sure I had the fast turnover.
Okay, perfect. So tell me about stroller running. How do you feel it's different than... So tell me about stroller running and how it's different than regular running, you know, obviously with shifting arms, pushing and all that stuff. And how do your times compare when you run a stroller with a stroller versus not?
It's hard to know because Okay. Oh, see? Okay.
That's okay. I can cut it.
So I started stroller running when my son was about, I want to say 6 months old. The first few times I actually used just my regular push stroller. He was a smaller baby at that point, so he's still kind of in the car seat facing me. So it was a pretty bulky contraption to be pushing along. And then my wonderful friend Letty gave me her jogging stroller, and I was like, no, I'm not ready for a jogging stroller. He's still a baby. And she assured me, no, there's a little special thing that you can put on it where you can still put the car seat. And so then I was like, okay, perfect. So around 6 months, I started doing some jogs with him. And at that point, I had been pushing him in a regular stroller, which is super bulky, super slow. And then I actually was like, oh, this isn't so bad. I hadn't been doing as much running beyond just pushing him and going on walks. I actually thought it was really easy from the get-go. My training runs are definitely different with the stroller versus when I'm not with the stroller. One thing is, my son's 3 now. When he was younger, I could go for an hour-long run. He would be fine, he'd fall asleep. A toddler's attention span doesn't always last like that. So now we do a lot of shorter runs. We all kind of go, okay, we're gonna run to the park. So we'll do a 20-minute run to the park, 20-minute run back. Sometimes I'll, add on some dead ends and confuse him so I can get my runs a little bit longer. So my times are pretty comparable between when I do my easy runs with the stroller and easy runs not with the stroller, but I kind of do more of my hard, long runs without the stroller. I do more of my speed work with the stroller. I did notice a big difference because training for this race, I ended up visiting my family during that time, so I did speed work out without stroller, and then the stroller broke, so I didn't get to do as many runs. But then I did some speed works at different times, and I didn't have the stroller during those times, and they were a lot faster than my speed work usually is because I'm usually pushing the stroller. So I think that actually hopefully helped me because it helped me do more of a turnover than I'm used to, but we shall see.
Yes, we shall see. So good luck.
Thank you.
So we had actually planned to attend a local 5K. Diana would run it, me in tow with a bike, to videotape her running this attempt to break 19 minutes. However, Diana has been sick. She got food poisoning. So we opted to come up with a run in her neighborhood. Unfortunately, she wouldn't have as much support, but I recruited a friend, Marty Clark, to come along to cheer her on. All right, so I'm on my way to see my friend Diana and watch her run a 5K, cheer her on, and hope that she can break those 19 minutes like she intends to with a stroller. So her training, all that's in the book. She's no longer sick, and we'll see how she does. Her son was getting ready as we talked about the race that we had planned to do. He got really excited about it too, and also participated in his own warm-up that she makes him do prior to running, which is, by the way, a great tip, a great thing for other mothers that run with a jogging stroller to do with their child. When we were ready to go, we decided to do a little bit of a warm-up. I tried out Diana's bike that she let me borrow to make sure that I would be able to properly videotape her. Her son was not so happy in the stroller, but she lets him have a lot of choices as to what music would be played and also whether or not he wants to use the iPad or any other kind of toy while sitting in the stroller, allowing for her to do that 3 miles in hopefully less than 19 minutes. As Diana was done with her workout, she decided that it was time to start the race, so she picked an intersection of her neighborhood to start this race. We didn't mark anything up with chalk, and she was simply just gonna run until her Garmin would tell her that she had reached the 3.1 miles, and then we would hopefully celebrate.
We're at the beginning.
Yeah, the starting
We're
line.
gonna watch Diana ball a 5K, pushing the buggy with Mr. Emmett in it.
And just like that, without any anthem, without any fanfare, and without any sounds starting the race, Diana set out for her 3.1 mile race.
3, 2, 1, go!
The loops in her neighborhood were each of 0.6 something miles, requiring her to run this course or this loop 5 times and then see what her watch would say. The way that Marty and I decided to support her was by biking with her each for 2.5 loops and also videotape her, cheer her on, and give her whatever she needed. How are you feeling, Marty?
I'm so hard. Go.
She's halfway done. I started my Garmin to go along with her. However, unfortunately, I had set it to biking. And when you set it to biking, you can't really tell what running pace it is. It tells you the miles per hour, and I couldn't think fast enough to translate that. So I had no idea what pace we were going, but I knew we were going really fast because that's just how it is with her. I was super impressed by Diana running these wide turns, because when she's running these turns, she has to literally push down on the handlebar of the stroller and lift the front wheel, which I find super hard, but again, that's something that comes with running fast. Diana did not lose momentum, and she smiled throughout the entire run. Some of her neighbors came out and started videotaping her. I think they knew that she was doing some sort of time trial. However, again, we had no idea how fast she was going. When I looked at Marty, he just shook his head. Neither one of us knew. Diana kept running, and towards the end, when I knew we had already done almost 5 loops, I started telling her, hey, I think we're almost there. I don't know how much that helped, but I know that she started looking at her watch and she gave it another hard push, just when you thought she couldn't go any faster. Then Diana signaled us that she was done. I was super excited because I knew this had felt fast, but again, I had no idea how long we'd been going. It felt like forever. I was out of breath just from biking. So I rushed over to Diana just to look at her watch and see what it would say. What's your time? Wait, let me see the watch.
So awesome.
Oh, shoot. 18:39. So as you saw, Diana had her watch and she tried to make it to where I could see her full screen, and by that she added 1 extra second to her 5K, unfortunately. But the great news was she had broken the 19-minute barrier by a lot. She had actually ran 18:39 for a 5K with a stroller. After that, we congratulated Diana in her driveway, told her how awesome she was. We told her son how awesome he was and how patient he was for sitting in the stroller, and that his mom actually had made it super easy on him by running fast. I'm not sure he appreciates her time at this point, but maybe in the future he'll realize how fast his mom really is. In my conversation with Diana and Marty both afterwards, we were trying to figure out what the actual world record is for pushing a stroller in a 5K. I couldn't really find it. I could find the 10K, half marathon, and full marathon. So if any of you watchers know what that time is, or if you're better than me at Googling and finding it in the Guinness Book of World Records, please let us know. Hopefully it's not too far off and Diana has something to train for in the future to do even better than she did this time. Thank you for tuning in, and again, consider subscribing to my channel. Hopefully we'll have some more fun content for you shortly.